Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Well, today we're making tiramisu. We're making a version of tiramisu. This recipe calls for alcohol. I am omitting the alcohol 100%, but if you want, you could use a spiced rum. To start off with, we're going to be using 3 egg whites, using large eggs. So I'm going to separate them into different containers because I do not want shells or anything of that sort. You never know when you're going to get a bad egg. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. So this is the egg yolk. We put in the egg whites directly into my mixer. So 2. So it's going to be 3 egg whites. And then we are going to be using 6 egg yolks. So the egg yolks, we're just going to put them in a different container. So I have a little container in here where I'm keeping them. So we're just going to crack 2 more. 3 more, whatever. And just keep these whites so you can make meringue out of it. Or you can just have an egg white omelet. So we're going to do 3 more. So we have 4 in there. We need 2 more. 2 more yolks. So what we're doing here, really quickly, we're going to remove our whites and just put the egg yolks directly in there. I'm using gloves just because you don't want a mess anywhere. So let's take these gloves off. So we have these egg whites. We could put them away, put a lid on them, put them away. You can make an egg white omelet for breakfast tomorrow. So far the recipe, we have 3 egg whites, 6 egg yolks. We're also going to be using 6 tablespoons of sugar, but we're going to separate. You're going to use 3 tablespoons here and 3 tablespoons here. We're also going to be using an 8-ounce packet, see where I put it, of mascarpone cheese. This is the one that I'm using. 8 ounces, that's what we're using here. And we're gonna need 1 cup of really heavily brewed or espresso coffee. Set that aside, let it cool. Again, like I said, you could use rum amaretto, or you can use like a spiced rum. I am omitting it. We're gonna also be using some ladyfingers, and which I store-bought them, and we're gonna be using some cocoa powder for us to dust. So we're going to go ahead and get started really quickly. So first things first, I'm going to have you guys hit that like button and the share button. And don't forget to subscribe, okay? So really quickly, I'm going to grab my 3 tablespoons of sugar, my first amount of sugar. And I'm going to put them directly into my egg white. And I have water that I am boiling, and this water that I am boiling, I am gonna put my egg whites into a double boiler so that way I can cook the whites without scrambling them. So we want to make sure that when we do this, at all times we are whisking. So I'll show you. So first things first is, you can see it's boiling, so I'm going to bring the temperature down to a low, and I'm going to grab myself a whisk. And I'm going to start by whisking my whites into my sugar. And we're going to start at all times, we're going to whisk around the sugar and the white. Why? Because we do not want to make scrambled eggs. So all we're trying to do is warm up and cook the white without it scrambling. That's why we continue to turn and spin and do all this fun stuff. So this is what we're doing here. So we want to make sure, first of all, make sure that your hands are clean, because you're going to be touching and feeling these egg whites with your fingers. because we want to make sure that the sugar is completely dissolved. Almost. So you want to make sure that at all times you keep stirring. Okay, so this is where I want it, and I'm removing it from my stove, and I'm going to put my mixer. So on here we want to whip it, and whip it really good until the egg whites are completely doubled or tripled in size. You'll see it's going to go for a little bit. You want them to hold its cleats. And once this comes to where we want it, we're gonna do our egg yolks the exact same way. So what I want you guys to know is that while that is going, we do want to make sure that we have our ingredients the way we need them to be. So I'm going to put my egg yolks into another bowl, as you saw. Make sure that all your yolks are in there very good. And we're going to go ahead and add the other 3 tablespoons of sugar to the egg yolks. So 1, 2, 3. And we're going to bring this yet again the exact same way as we did before. With the egg whites, we're going to do with the egg yolks in a double boiler. Again, I'm trying to cook the yolks. I'll show you that. So again, with this, we're going to go ahead and put it over the double boiler. And we want to go ahead and start getting those yolks cooked. So we are cooking the yolks. My whites just finished. So we want to do the same thing. We're trying to get the egg, the sugar in here to dissolve. And this is also going to help these whites double in volume. These yolks, sorry. I keep saying white. All I'm trying to do is, you know, cook the actual yolks. Going to give you a nice hand workout, but we want to make sure we get the sugar melted and the yolk starting to cook without scrambling. So this is what we're doing in here. We're going to take this aside and we're going to whip it the same way. So in this one, we're going to let it whip for a while until it has doubled or tripled in size. You can tell here that my white meringue is completely nicely done. We're going to let this cool, let this whip for a little while. In the meantime, I am going to open my mascarpone cheese and get the cheese open. Make sure you leave it at room temperature. It helps because it's nice and soft. So set that aside while this is whipping. Allow this to whip for a little while, and I'll let you know what it looks like in a second. One of the things that I am going to do is that I'm going to switch my whisk attachment. It's getting there. And I'm going to use my paddle for a little while, just because I need the paddle to scrape everything on the sides. So again, we go on high and allow it to simply mix in there for a little while. It's almost done. It's gonna whip for approximately 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes on high. It doubles in size and it almost lightens up. I didn't tell you, but we are gonna use just a touch of vanilla, but in this case, instead of adding like a lot of rum, instead of adding rum, I'm gonna add vanilla. I'm sorry. So if you see this completely, I don't know if you guys can see it good. But it's nicely, it's thickening up really nice. You see how nice and thick? We're gonna start adding our mascarpone cheese directly to that. A little bit at a time. And let it whip up together with the yolks. Okay. You need mascarpone cheese in order to make tiramisu. I don't think there's another way you can do it. So we're gonna allow this to be completely lump free. So we're gonna let it mix there for maybe a minute or two, and I'll show you the next process after that. So I'm folding it in. I folded in the egg whites, and then now I folded in, which one item I forgot to tell you guys about, it's whipped cream. Now you can either do homemade whipped cream, or you can cheat and do what I did and buy the store-bought already whipped topping. And this has stabilizer in it, so it stabilizes your mascarpone filling. Okay, this is it. This is our cream. Now we just assemble. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so we have our lady fingers. And what we're going to do is that we're going to take our lady fingers and we are going to soak them really quickly into our coffee. Just like that. You don't want them to get too soggy. You just you want that coffee flavor. So pretty much, and as we do those, we're going to make sure you put them really close together. And you should have enough. So this is what we do here. And now the last one here, because of the fact that it's going to be not big enough, so we are going to just cut a piece right off of it, whatever's big enough, just to fit it, until you get an even layer. So there you have it. This is our base, the bottom base. Next thing is that we're going to grab our mixture here, and we want to give it a quick little spread. Now in this point, if you want to be a little extra, which I'm a little extra, I'm going to grab some cocoa nibs and I'm going to add, let me just grab them pretty quickly. I say pretty quickly, but that means as soon as I find them. Here they are. So we're going to grab a few cocoa nibs, which is coke. It's chocolate, in other words. It's just not processed yet, you know. So this is unsweetened. We don't want to add any. By the way, the Cool Whip topping that I use the sugar-free because we don't want to add more sweetness to this. Now we're going to go ahead and again do another layer of the lady fingers. The same exact way as we just did them. So we start in the corner. We do second layer. And so on and so forth. This is, I mean, tiramisu is an amazing. You could do these individually. You could put them into little cups. One of these days, I'll come back and I might do the tiramisu that I used to do at work, which was almost like this, but not quite. Hold on, I gotta open this thing up here. So it's just a matter of getting the lady fingers really nicely soaked. You know, we're gonna do that this time. I think they fit just fine like this. Yes. Why didn't I do this in the beginning? You see it now because I have enough room here. We're gonna go ahead and put those little pieces and match them up together. That way we get a little extra. So that is your second layer. And now we've topped it with the remainder of our mascarpone filling. Okay. Now we're gonna spread it all the way to the corners. All the way to the corners. All the way to the corners. It's just a matter of getting it as even as possible. And now, next thing is the cocoa powder. And I will show you that in a second. Let me just grab a spatula, because I honestly feel like this needs to be a little bit more evenly spread. As even as I can get it. I'm trying to be all extra here. I'm sorry this video is longer than what I anticipated. So now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my cocoa powder. So lastly, now we grab some acet and we wanna dust the whole thing with cocoa powder. You can do some chocolate shavings if you like. I'm using the dark chocolate powder. You do not have to use this one, but I prefer it because it's dark chocolate and it's not as sweet, so it counterbalances with the sweetness of the actual cream. Anyways, so there you have it. This is tiramisu. Now what we do is that we put it in the refrigerator and we're gonna let this like get set before we cut it. But this, my people, is my tiramisu. Well, it's been a few hours. So, okay, before I drop everything out of my refrigerator, I do want to show you what our tiramisu looks like. I'm out of breath, so let's see what we can do. I put a cover on it because I am going to put it in the refrigerator. So this is our tiramisu. Yeah, as you can see, a little bit of moisture got into it because I put it in there, but it's okay. Now we can serve the tiramisu just like that, or we can make a side of whipped cream. Right now I'm not in the mood to make whipped cream, so we're just gonna grab a little bit of a plate. We are going to grab ourselves a knife. So just any knife will do. And what we're gonna do is just give this get a little. This is super creamy. I do not want to take a lot of this out. Maybe I should have waited. Oh, goodness. Nothing better than tasting. I'm going to try it with this. Let's hope it comes out. I don't know if it's a good idea. Let's try a bigger spatula. I'm actually going to... I'm trying to find a spatula here. I have a bad feeling I'm going to mess this up taking it out. Okay. It didn't come out as cute as I wanted it to. But it came out in one spot, one piece. My goodness. Oh my goodness. You don't understand. I'm going to taste this because I can, okay? It just looks so good. I think the chocolate on top that I used by going with dark chocolate, I think it's totally... Oh, look at that. Look at that. Goodness. Oh. Oh. Delicious. Anyways, one way of making tiramisu. Hope you enjoyed this video. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me a comment and go leave me a yum or anything. Just leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. God bless you and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.